Hey, what did I tell you last time? Get out of here. We're social distancing. Get out. Get on out of here.
Don't have anybody around here.
Yeah, that's right. My little
We did this
Tony
joke
friend
last
over here.
time. We did this joke last time.
And it's just as funny now. But you guys, today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Andrew, tell us a little bit about Patreon and who our patrons are.
Okay, well, the main thing to know about Patreon is we have a bunch of commentaries up there, and we got, High School Musical. I feel like we did,
Phantom
Jekyll
of the
and
Opera,
Hyde, or
Cats.
Phantom of the Opera, or...
Jekyll and Hyde.
Did we do Cat? Well, we did the actual Cats. We haven't done the movie yet.
Oh, guys, keep waiting. I think that might be something coming up.
It's definitely coming up. Jess already did the preparation. It was on Twitter, right? You watched the whole thing with the commentary.
My God, Tom Hooper thinks he made a movie.
He thinks he made a masterpiece, I think. Our current patrons...
And who's to say he didn't?
Our current patrons are Stephanie L., Terry Needleman, Max Looney, Benjamin Lear, Lily Ackles, Mackenzie Horner, John Donna, Taryn the Duck, Melissa Goldman, Jess Lightning, Ewan Cassidy, Haley McDonald, Tess Skier, Colin McLeod, Fire of September, Mina Maneri, Monica Thoreau, Brent Black, Haley Murray, Allison Wonderland, B-Way Flicks, Michael Johan, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Luna Rocks 222, Irregal, Drew A. Whiter, William Want, Carrie Ahern, Christine Malmadal, Ben Packard, Mezzanine Theater Diary, Mary Lou Choquette, Carson O'Connor, Anne Nunnally, and Cole Birchfield.
These folks give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you would like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as patron-only commentaries or episodes a day early or even earlier, come join us over at Patreon. Also, right at the front, we do want to thank Broadway Podcast Network for letting us be a part of their programming over on that website. And if you haven't been there before, you should go check them out. Because there's
a lot of stuff on there. Jess has 2 shows on there now.
Oh yeah, I have never promoted that podcast here yet. I keep forgetting about it. I'm on a second podcast called Once More with Dragons, which is also on Broadway Podcast Network. Basically it's me, Musical Mash, Musical Hell, Christy Esterly, people that have been on this show. Everyone you should probably already know. All of us are playing D&D, musical theater D&D, and Andrew isn't involved, so that's an even more incentive for you to go and take a look at it.
I feel like I should guest on there or something like that. You know, I feel like that would be a fun thing, but whatever.
Nobody fucking likes you. All right, guys, let's get on to the real show.
I already know nobody likes me.
Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater. How are you doing today, Mr. DeWolf?
Well, considering Christmas is 9 months away, I'm doing excellent. I'm just glad we'll never have to hear anything Christmas-related at this time, because, my goodness, Christmas is just the worst, isn't it?
You know the one day worse than Christmas?
There's a day worse than Christmas?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
That day that is even worse than Christmas is known in some circles as Arbor Day. But, Black Friday's pretty bad, too.
I hate trees. If there's one thing I hate more than trees, it's profit. Man, do I hate making money.
Yeah, so, I don't know. This week we're doing Black Friday,
We're doing
guys.
Black Friday.
It's not like it's a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
Not a surprise. We mentioned it last week.
It's in the title of the thing you clicked on.
I mean, sometimes people just let podcasts play and let it be a surprise.
That's
so
true.
Maybe it is a surprise.
Maybe it is a surprise. But if you listen to last week's episode right before this week's episode, you would already know that we're talking about Black Friday because it's literally a sequel to the last show we did.
Is this a musical adaptation of Rebecca Black's life?
Actually, that would be called
a Black Friday.
That would be Rebecca Black's Friday.
You can close the casket now. The plans for my father's hopeless seed, born into moral poverty. Still, I wasn't an angel heaven sent to break through my cliche boundaries. 'Cause Friday is black for me. The dreamer has dreamed her dream. When Friday is black, there's no turning back. 'Cause Friday is black for me.
Black Friday is a science fiction horror musical with music and lyrics by Jeff Blim and a book by Matt and Nick Lang. It is the 12th stage show produced by Starkid Productions and takes place in Hatchetfield, a fictional town in Michigan, and the same setting as Starkid's previous endeavor, The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, though in an alternate universe where the events of the previous musical never happened. The show ran from October 31st, 2019 to December 3rd, 2019 at the Hudson Mainstage Theater in Los Angeles, California. The music and lyrics were both written by Jeff Blim and the book by Nick and Matt Lang and directed by Nick Lang. A live recording of the musical was uploaded onto YouTube on February 29, 2020. Funding for the show was done through Kickstarter, similarly to Starkid's most recent shows. The project raised $547,439 through 111,704 backers out of its $155,000 goal. Holy shit, that's $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting some budget on these. Also, I'd like to say that's a lot more backers than their previous one as well.
Yes.
Like a lot more.
And it's not uncommon. They've done this for all their shows, but man, I didn't know they made that much.
Well, I'm sure a large portion of that is just going directly into the production, so.
And going right into the filming of it, because this one, they stepped up their game to shoot this one. It feels so much better altogether.
Oh, there is some really incredibly realistic gunshot effects and other things.
I'm talking more the general stuff of, like the way it was shot. They were using some steady cams and some intensive
It was no longer just like a couple cameras propped up facing the stage.
With a little bit of a zoom.
Yep.
And the audio quality, because their audio, ever since the beginning of this, with the Harry Potter musicals, has been pretty iffy.
It's like my audio.
But Andrew, what was your initial thoughts on Black Friday and your description of the plot?
All right. So Black Friday, right away they introduce Wigglies, which are like a toy that everybody wants. It's like what is it? Jingle All the Way, where they have like the one toy that the Arnold Schwarzenegger,
the Turbo Man.
But instead of Turbo Man, this time it's a Wiggly, which really for the first act for a while it's kind of just like Jingle All the Way, and then everything goes absolutely insane. So like at first it's just like, hey, it's Black Friday. This kid's dad wants to go out and get a Wiggly toy, even though he's not waiting in line. And I guess he's never heard of Black Friday before in his life. Only his wife had, and his wife died last year, so I guess that's it. But somehow he still manages to get pretty close to the front of the line, which is impressive.
Through cheating.
Yeah, he does cheat. I mean, but who doesn't like cheating? And then in the same time, there is 3 other characters introduced, and I think her name is Lex. Is that right?
Yes, Lex.
And she's gonna take her boyfriend and her sister to California, because why not? Oh, and she's gonna do
MIA.
Yeah, and she's going to do that by selling one of the Wigglies because she works at the toy store, and she's gonna steal one and sell it for a large price.
Yeah, for like $3,000.
Yeah, and then it kind of goes crazy, and it's revealed that Wiggly is like an alternate dimension creature, like a Cthulhu monster type thing, and he's like controlling all the adults, because I guess his powers only affect adults because he gives them what they want, and kids don't really care about what they want. I don't really know.
Kids don't want things. Kids don't ever want. Like, it's not like you see a kid crying because you can't take him to McDonald's for the 4th time this week. Ever. Well, never seen that.
Kids want things, but they don't have holes in their hearts. And Wiggly gives you the things that will fill the hole in your heart, or something like that.
You bet we'll fill the hole.
Oh yeah, we'll fill that hole. So the government has to get involved, and there's all sorts of crazy shit that happens in the second act, and I'm not even sure I can really describe it right now in like a coherent fashion. So we're probably just gonna have to talk our way through it. But
no, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first act is kind of like Jingle All the Way, and the second act is kind of like
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. But there is a very obvious through line theme-wise, and that's a very, very high critique of consumerist culture, which I don't know what you would expect from a show called Black Friday besides that, because really that's the only thing you could possibly expect from a show called Black Friday. But it's obviously incredibly critical of American consumerism.
In a way that's smarter than the undertones of the guy who didn't like musicals would make you think.
Yeah, although I'd say it's like simultaneously smarter and more like obvious.
Yeah. But I like this show a lot more than the guy who didn't like musicals. Like, significantly more.
Between the two, this one is definitely better.
Mm-hmm. But I even think I like this a little more than Twisted. It might be a little too early to say.
I'm not sure I could agree with that. But again, I've only seen this once, and I've seen Twisted like 3 times now, so I could just be biased on that front.
And let me say, this brought about the welcomed return of Dylan Saunders in his first role in a Starkid show since Twisted. He was Jafar in Twisted, and he is now the dad in this show, and he
does a great job.
Plays it really well.
I mean, he kind of makes Twisted work. So it's good that he's back.
And he kind of makes this work, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his character is definitely the best character in the show.
I am going to disagree there. I think, like, him and Lex are very hand-in-hand in, like, what makes this important.
Yeah, but I think he's better.
I think that he gets
I like his story better.
Second half when he gets mind control, he kind of becomes a secondary player.
My problem with a lot of this show is that the second half kind of just undermines everything. Like they set up all these relationships and all these things that people want to do in the first act, and then the second act is just like nukes that. It's like gone. Like literally nukes it, but like they kind of just like now the president and this government official take over, and like they switch who the main characters are, and like it's kind of crazy.
In a good way, where it does kind of shake up the storyline, where it's not just in this mall, it becomes bigger and more
if you're
intense.
just watching it for the first time, you can kind of see it coming, because like, I mean, you know, something named the Wiggly in a show like this is gonna be evil in some way, but like the extent that they go with it, you might not expect. Like, I was expecting like evil toys or something like that. I was not expecting extra dimensional Cthulhu monster.
I mean, with the design of the toy, I kind of expected that.
I didn't expect them to go through a portal to the other dimension, is what I mean.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, I get that. But what do you... Okay, so the two main plot lines I really want to talk about is, first, I want to talk about the father character. I think his name's Tom. Yeah, Tom. And he basically wants to go get a Wiggly for his son because his wife died in a car accident the Christmas before, and he wants to give him a good Christmas this year. Yeah. And that's a very compelling emotional motivation.
Now,
and then you have Lex, Ethan, and Hannah.
Of note, and what is relevant for later is, I mean, we meet his son, and he never actually says that he wants this toy or anything like that. Like, really, there's no indication that that's what he actually wants. The dad just is going to go get it because he thinks he wants, which is kind of very relevant later on.
Yes. And then you have Ethan, Lex, and Hannah, who want the toy as well to try to get them out of there, to sell and get them basically a trip to California so they can get away from their kind of shitty, abusive situation.
Yeah, but they have like a weird Shining type thing where Hannah has this, the black and white ability or something like that, is what they call it.
They really liked The Shining and Stranger Things, and then they made this.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody likes Stranger Things, and most people like The Shining.
I like the first season, okay.
Well,
and that's about
what
it.
I've heard is that every other season is the same as the first season, so I don't know.
Basically, except less good.
Yeah, that's TV for you, though.
I don't know.
Although I just got done watching Inventor Brothers, and it got better as it went, so...
I'm rewatching Scrubs because, you know, I need something garbage to have on while I'm working from home.
That's fair. Just don't watch just don't watch Friends. Friends is the worst show ever.
Yeah, Friends is the worst. I can't get through an episode of it. That and How I Met Your Mother are the cancer of TV.
Yes.
Even Glee has more personality to it than either of those shows.
I've never watched How I Met Your Mother, but I know a lot of people that think Friends is like the shit, and I think Friends is just shit.
What do you think of Seinfeld? I know we're like going completely off.
Seinfeld is fantastic and maybe the best sitcom ever made.
But Seinfeld, the comedian, isn't that great.
Yeah, but he's not what makes the show funny. He is
the Larry David.
He is the straight man, and that's really all he is. And yeah, the writing is what makes that show funny, not any of the particular actors or anything like that.
What did you think of Ethan and Hannah and Lex, all of them, like in their goals? And
I mean, they're obviously supposed to be like naive and not quite having sane goals. Because like them just bailing to go to California is obviously not a good idea.
It worked in The Wizard, Andrew.
Yeah, well, I don't care about The Wizard. California!
They do a tribute to them. I have to believe it's a tribute to them, to The Wizard.
But yeah, why else are they going to California MIA?
Because of that joke.
They also don't know how to spell, because it's California NIA, but whatever.
Yeah. And they kind of make a joke like about how he doesn't know how to spell like Lier. We get it, babe, you're a good speller. Like sincere jokes about like where the jokes is kind of on them, but that doesn't ruin them as characters.
Yeah. Ethan's not a very long-lasting character, though. He's kind of a throwaway.
No, but he makes an impression when he's there. Like, he's a bully with a heart of gold.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a bully. He's kind of more, I got the impression he's more of a punk.
Well, he threatens to put a kid in a locker and then fart in it.
Yeah, but who hasn't done that?
Not today, at least.
Yeah, but you did it yesterday like 3 times, so that makes up for it.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
There's probably still kids in those lockers right now because the schools are closed down. No one can go save them.
Oh, yeah, they're dead now. I should probably go check on them. But I liked him. He left an impression. He's no Professor Higgins as a character, which is Robert Mannion's other role in this world we live in.
No, it's not even close.
But you know, his role as Saint Nick, Kris Kringle.
Oh, you mean in
the Deck the Hall scene.
Act 2 opener that is technically actually unrelated to anything?
I mean, yeah. It's great, though. Fuck you.
I hate you. Okay. I mean, Lex is definitely the best character of the 3, and Hannah kind of is there.
She's a tool.
She's mostly there to hint at the whole, like, there's something
side.
more nefarious going on than just standard Black Friday stuff.
Right.
What about Frank? What do you think of Frank? We introduced Frank, who is the shop owner, who is like a kind of a obnoxious horrible capitalist type. I mean, he's the manager of a retail store, but they make him seem like he's the owner. So I'm wondering if this is like a small time toy store or something like that.
But it isn't a mall. Don't you have to be at least somewhat big time to get into a mall?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you can pay the rent, they'll let you in. But
not anymore, at least.
I don't know. It seems like he's meant to be the owner of a toy store, which I don't know, because he's talking like he's gonna see all the money from these toys. But if he was just the manager, he wouldn't really see anything, and he'd probably be sick to death of Black Friday.
Yeah,
just like
everybody else. People.
Jess has been the manager of a retail store, right?
I've been the manager of an athletic center, not a retail store.
Better. That is better, I think.
Yeah, except if you get moments where kids try to murder each other, that's not fun, and then you gotta figure out whether to call their parents or the police.
Yes, have you ever told someone that you were the manager of an athletic center and then they look at you and they laugh?
I was the manager of an athletic center.
Sure you were.
It just happened. It just happened right here, right now, first time.
But Frank is awful. He's one of those characters where the second you meet him, you're like, this is cannon fodder. Someone's dying and it's this guy.
I hope he dies.
It's not even an I hope he dies. It's someone is going to die, and I know that this is going to be one of the people that dies.
Can we talk? You mentioned in the last episode about the Gremlins moment.
Yes.
The moment where they just share their sad backstories. And we kind of already know what Tom's sad backstory is. His wife died, but he meets this girl.
Becky?
And yeah,
Was
Becky.
her name Becky Barnes?
Yes, Becky Barnes.
Which is just Bucky Barnes, which is Captain America's sidekick.
Fucked if I know. I don't watch porn movies, Andrew.
You do watch Marvel movies, and I know you watch them.
I've never seen a Marvel movie.
I hate you.
I watch only art. I don't just watch the same movie over and over with a different logo on it, Andrew.
I only watch cinema, and Marvel is not cinema.
The god of cinema, Martin Scorsese, said it wasn't. You know, the director of Hugo.
Oh yeah, Hugo. What was that about again?
Filmmaking and clocks.
You know it's a real film if it's about film.
Yes, La La Land, perfect.
Any movie has to be about movies, and any musical has to be about musicals.
The fuck were... Oh, the relationship between Tom and Becky. Becky has her what happened to me moment. Andrew, tell us what her what happened to me was.
Oh, God.
It was one of the weirdest turns in the
Honestly,
show.
I don't know if I remember. What was it?
Like, Tom accidentally killed his wife in the car accident and blames himself.
Yes.
She intentionally killed her husband and left him for dead.
Oh, yeah. Because her husband, she said like her husband was like abusive or something, right? And she just straight murders him.
Yeah. And it's like played dead straight, not a joke at all. It's like one of the darkest moments in one of these.
So would you say that this is not a comedy? Is this not supposed to be funny?
I think it's sincere is the thing. Like the dark moments feel like dark and intentionally like emotionally well executed.
So the thing is, so we have to compare this to the previous one because I mean they almost want us to compare it because I mean we haven't gotten to them yet, but
it's in the same world.
Yeah, they want us to compare them. I feel like the guy who doesn't like musicals has jokes in it, like legitimate jokes. The whole premise is a joke. It feels like this one, the whole joke is just kind of the fact that the thing's name is Wiggly. And other than that, it's really not that. It's not really doesn't really have that much humor in it.
It's character-based humor instead of like meta commentary humor.
Yeah, which is better, and I think it makes it makes it a better show because of that.
And that's also what made Twisted work so well. It wasn't like a haha, it's Disney. We have a moment where it's haha, it's Disney, but they also play it sincerely.
Yeah, I mean, in that, the best parts of Twisted are definitely the parts where it's not playing up the fact that, oh, remember when Disney did this? Well, now we're doing the opposite.
Right.
Haha, got ya.
Yeah, and that's why this show, I think, is probably their best work, because when it gets dark, it's sincerely dark. And yeah, there's a chuckle here and there, and like even when we do get to the tense part where she's like, kids don't want that thing. They're into Fortnite. Like, that feels like it works in that character's mouth, even in that darker moment.
But yeah, and that's almost because it's true. It's like, yeah, kids don't want some weird toy thing. They want to play Fortnite and get a bunch of skins.
And watch porn on an iPad, you know.
No, normal kid stuff.
Wasn't that a joke in Noel that all the kids just wanted iPads?
Yes, that was a joke in Noel.
See our other podcast that doesn't exist.
We'll bring it back
one day.
When Disney Plus gets some better content, we'll bring it back. To be honest,
or we'll just let it die. Let it die, everyone.
Either way, honestly, I think part of the reason that didn't work is just because Disney Plus really doesn't have that much on it.
Bad Return to Oz, which is great. Either way,
we did
do you want to go into a mid-show announcement and then chat about some of the songs?
Honestly, why don't we go into a mid-show announcement and then chat about Act 2?
Why don't we chat about Act 2 and then go into a mid-show announcement?
Yeah, because I feel like we need to discuss Act 2. There's a lot in here that we didn't talk about. Okay.
All right. What do you want to say about Act 2?
General McNamara. What is this character?
He is a remnant from the guy who didn't like musicals.
Sort of, but like he's not. Like,
what do you mean?
So he is technically by name and by actor and by
performative choices
in the guy who didn't like musicals. But in this one, he is like some sort of ridiculous super secret intelligence, like almost like a snake from Escape from New York type. Like this guy is crazy, and he there's no way this character would have not been investigating the weird alien thing in the guy who didn't like musicals.
I mean, he did. Like, he showed up and was investigating it, and he had information about it and got Paul involved.
Yeah, but he failed miserably. I just can't...
I mean, he kind of failed miserably here, too.
He didn't fail miserably here. He just didn't... Honestly, he failed miserably, but only because of the weak-spined Democratic president.
He's a moderate Democrat.
I'm a moderate Democrat. I'm exactly what the country needs.
That was a good joke, and all too relevant right now. You can just feel the sadness
I can literally feel the Joe Biden stuttering his way into my mind.
Stuttering his way onto the election ballot.
Stuttering his way into the losing bracket.
Stuttering his way into our hearts.
Let's just talk about the next election cycle.
You know, when I was with this guy, you know, his name was Obama. Yeah! I know him!
I heard of that guy.
He was great. He did that thing. He killed Obama bin Laden.
Obama bin Laden. Okay, so General McNamara is now like head of super intelligence agency, and the president is now like a main character of this show.
Yes.
And they get sent into a portal to the dimension of the black and white,
which is where Wiggly lives.
which Lex and Hannah both have some sort of connection to, and General McNamara knows this, that they have that connection, right? It is.
Once he makes it to the black and white, he can figure
Yes.
it out.
And he's like living there now, and he can like communicate with them. It's so fucking weird. It doesn't make any.
And I kind of appreciate the fact that a musical can be that kind of weird.
Well, yeah, because
usually through productions they cut all that shit out.
they usually cut that kind of stuff out. You know what it reminds me of actually a little bit is what was that show? Be More Chill. Like
Yes.
that kind of like ridiculous, like this is not usually what you'd see in a musical, because musicals are generally more emotionally driven and not so much plot driven. Which I think is a fault at sometimes. I mean, sometimes a general audience just wants to see a show that is just plot driven. They just want to see characters do a thing, you know? And they don't want
Right.
to see a show that is like, let's talk about every emotion that this character is having throughout 3 hours of a show, you know?
But I like emotions, Andrew. I don't like feeling nothing when a show ends.
So did you feel nothing when this show ended?
No, this one has those character emotional
that's what
songs, which are so core to why this show works.
What it is this is like the Marvel movie of musicals, in a way.
No, this one's actually good. And I've actually watched this one.
You know, Jess, you don't need to lie to everybody. I know your favorite movie of all time is Thor 2, The Dark World. So,
No, it's Iron Man 3. I mean, I've never watched any of these.
okay, Iron Man 3 is better than Thor 2. You can get out
Iron
of
Man
here.
3 is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. Like, I'm done playing. That bit is over. Iron Man 3 is great, and you all are just fucking
Dude,
lame.
honestly, though, it actually is really good. I actually rewatched it like 2 weeks ago.
The movie's... Shane Black needs to be brought back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because he's, like, one of the best writer-directors there are. I wish he would stop hiring pedophiles, but that's a whole different story.
It's whatever, man. Iron Man 3 is the best Iron Man movie.
I mean, yes. I wouldn't say it's the best movie with Iron Man, but it is the best Iron Man movie.
What's better with Iron Man?
I'd say I liked Endgame a lot better. Like, that's altogether a good one.
Endgame's too goddamn long.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's go into a mid-show and talk about the songs. I feel like we talked about Act 2 as much as we can. Honestly, just watch this show. It is so bizarre and so weird, and you have nothing to do because you are locked in your house for 3 weeks.
Yes, but let's chat about the songs after a mid-show announcement. Guys. We gotta chill at you, and we're so sorry about this. It's really, really not the best thing in the world, but money, we gotta pay the bills somehow in this hard time.
Do you know why
really
they call
hard
it
time.
Black Friday? Because it's the first time podcasts will be in the black all year.
All right, then. Today's show is brought to you by our extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Andrew, what is Patreon, and who is currently donating to
Patreon
us?
is where you can see us watch High School Musical for 6 hours. Our current patrons are Stephanie L., Terry Needleman, Max Lunig, Benjamin Lear, Lily Ackles, Mackenzie Horner, John Donna, Fire of September, Mina Maniri, Monica Thoreau, Brent Black, Haley Murray, Allison Wonderland, B-Way Flicks, Michael Johan, Nathaniel Stacy Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Luna Rocks 222, Taryn the Duck, Melissa Goldman, Jess Lighting, Ewan Cassidy, Haley McDonald, Tess Gear, Colin McLeod, Irego, Drouet, Whiter, I really can't get that name, I'm sorry, my man, or I don't even know, William Watt, Terry Ahern, Christine Malmadel, Ben Packard, Mezzanine Theater Diary, Mary Lou Choquette, Carson O'Connor, and Natalie and Cole Birchfield.
That gives a little extra financial
If there's
support.
any John Smiths out there,
here
if
at
you want to
Musicals.
donate to us.
If you'd like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as patron-only commentaries, or episodes a day early or even earlier, come join us over at Patreon. And especially for names like John Smith or something, because Andrew's illiterate. All right, let's get back to the
love all
show.
you guys. And the hard names, they give me a challenge every day.
You're helping Andrew's reading literacy skills.
Maybe someday
every
I'll be
day.
able to talk without a slur.
I'm still working on it
Joe
myself.
Biden is
All
gone.
right, back to the show.
Boy, the world will be a playground full of magic and a best friend too. And he'll wiggle, wiggle, he'll wiggle, wiggle, he'll wiggle his way through life.
And he's a steal at only $49.95.
Do the wiggle! Do the wiggle! Do the wiggle! Do the wiggle! On this Black Friday, he will hit the shelves. He's riding Santa's sleigh, 'cause he's friends with all the elves. So sniggle your stocking up.
Wiggly Jiggle.
All right, let's talk about, Wiggly Jiggle is an effective musical opening number. Like, nothing to do with the actual show, but sets the tone.
It just reminds me of Halloween 3.
It does.
Right? You're
Like,
getting
this
the
is just
Halloween
plot
3
of Halloween
vibes,
3.
right?
Totally.
I was like, man, is this Halloween 3? I'm getting the vibe.
It is the Halloween 3 vibe. Have you ever had the vibe of Halloween 3?
I've had the vibe of Halloween 3, and I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, inject the Halloween 3 vibe into us. I just want to wiggle, 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 wiggle. Like this. I love their little costumes, like the furry arms and shit that becomes the Wiggly in the end.
It's great. And I think the design of the Wiggly is fun, and I wonder how many of those dolls they made.
Not many, because they didn't really have a ton of them on stage at once.
Well, they like ripped them apart though. Like, how many times did they perform this?
Quite a few. So I guess they must have had a couple made. But then again, they had $500,000 to make this thing. So
True. Did somebody own one of these dolls? Can we get a copy?
Can we get a
Can
Wiggly?
we get a Wiggly? I just feel
Yes.
like, I would like to have one. Just, for no, I just want to have one. Just cause.
I mean, I just want to tickle his belly, nothing bad.
Nothing weird. I just want to, have one to hold and like sleep with. And
Because he is really cute
He's
and all
very
that.
cute.
No. All right. But no, the Wiggly jingle is very catchy, very fun, and a great opening. And it's weird to see these characters perform this number when they do not behave anywhere like this throughout the show, aside from the background players.
Yeah, but it's another one where it's basically the song just introduces the show, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the characters that are in the show.
I mean, it kind of does. We have Joey Richter, friend of the show, who is basically like, it's 1995. Like, and he acts as like the caveat or the person that represents Wiggly, so to say. And he does it throughout the show.
Well, he's Uncle Wiley.
Yes.
He's cool, and he got sucked into the black and white, and then when he came out, he created the Wigglies.
What Tim wants, Tim will get. Anything that he wants, he can have it. Even now it's a dream, the kind that makes you question reality. The fact you don't wake up is no accident, it seems to me. Someone's gotta pay for it. He used to like cars, Tonka trucks and ships that could show you the stars. I couldn't hold him still to teach him guitar. Oh no, he just wasn't having it. And then flash, bang, chain. Flash, bang, nothing's the same. What Tim wants, Tim will get. Anything that he wants, he can have it. All I need is some time. All I need is a break from the madness. After all, you're my son.
What Tim wants.
Well, what does Tim want?
He thinks he wants a Wiggly, but this is like a surprisingly sincere song.
This is
for so early in a
it's a
show.
true I Want song. Unlike the
Yes.
previous show we talked about, they have a true I Want song.
Yes, and from his opening, Tom seems like kind of a huge dick because he's mean to Paul from the guy who didn't like musicals.
He's a big meanie. But
He has a reason.
And it's that he's a big meanie. And also he's stressed out.
Because he killed his wife.
Yeah. I don't quite remember. How did he kill his wife? He just didn't drive her home or something? Or
No, he drove her home and he missed something in the road, like missed the ice.
Yeah, he killed her.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tom, Mrs. Tom.
Mrs. Tom. But no, this song is really convincingly emotional in a way that shocked me the first time I've seen it, because usually, Like, even in Twisted, you don't get really emotional until, like, midway through Act 1. And this is, like, right out the gate. Like, let's give you the feels.
Well, yeah, it's like in Disney when they kill all the parents. You know, you got the dead wife right away. Boom. Just that's emotion right there.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the next movie, you find out that their voice is disembodied and is going to lead you into a hole that's going to tell you that your grandfather killed a bunch of Indians. And then you're frozen, and then you gotta let out a bunch of giants to break a dam and fix everything. And holy shit, that movie doesn't make any sense.
Disney forgot how to make movies.
Yeah. As soon as they got rid of Lotso Huggin' Bear John Lasseter, like...
Did you see Onward before it got shut down?
No, it didn't look great.
I saw it, and I mean, I would check it out on Disney Plus when it gets released.
I will. I've always wanted my dad to be only legs, so I'm very curious.
I can't wait to see the Onward porn parodies, because imagine it. Just legs? Oh, it's just the bottom half, baby.
And I just imagine the shitty green screen of the top half.
Oh, yeah. Jess, you need to make this. You need to make this porn.
I don't.
Jess has always wanted to be a porn director.
I have not. I have been offered opportunities to edit porn, and I've rejected them because I don't want my name on it. But
just give him a pseudonym.
I don't want to do it, Andrew.
You could be Cockmeister 6000 in the credits. Edited by Cockmeister 6000.
I don't think there's ever been a pseudonym for a porn editor.
I think you're wrong.
There has been. It's not been like a big, like, weird name like Cockmaster 6000.
All right, Cockmeister 6000. What did you think of California MIA?
When the sun shines down over Cali, our future's priceless, babe. The passive iris, babe. 'Cause we're
This song is high energy, fun, and it is another I Want song that makes sense.
I like that
we got two I Want songs for our two sets of main characters.
So Tom is like, he gets like the sappy song, but these guys get like the edgy, like punk rock song.
Right, and it suits them perfectly because they're edgy idiot teenagers.
Yes, just like me. I'm like 25, aren't I? Shit.
You're basically a grandfather, so time to kill yourself.
It's time to die. I think this song's a little goofy, but it's fine. I
mean, any song that's first lyrics are "My mom's a bitch."
I mean, yeah, it's funny in that way. It might be a little overly edgy for me, but it's whatever.
But it suits the characters we see in the scene and reveals them to be later in the show. Like, they never betray what they're shown as here, despite things getting more serious and more dark.
I would have liked to see more play between Lex and Tom. Their stories
because
are
they do have a good rapport.
Their stories are like kind of separate, except for like that one scene at the beginning where they meet up, and then maybe like I think they meet up again at the end, near the end. But
yeah, they come together at the end and they're all together.
Yeah, but like I feel like there could have been more, especially since Lex like blames her dropping out of school on Tom not coming back to shop class, which is weird.
Because she wasn't able to get a grade in that class, which made her flunk.
Yeah. So I feel like there could have been more there, but they don't really do much with it, sadly.
No, but they do have like really good chemistry on stage. Like, there's that really like underhanded joke where it's like, yeah, you're a shop teacher, which is basically you get an A if you don't chop your finger off. And he's like, hey, if you come and you do your best, I ain't gonna let a little accident like that go. That's like a really good, kindly delivered joke that fits with the character. That's what the guy that didn't like musical was lacking, like character lines that are effectively telling
jokes
story,
jokes that are character jokes that didn't have enough of. It had jokes that were like just jokes that anybody could have told, but it didn't really have enough jokes that are like specific to characters.
Mm-hmm. And we don't want to frame it like this show is squeaky clean. We have the occasional like fuck you and look at her tits and look at his dick, like graphic crass things,
but hilarious every time.
I'd say they hit more than they miss in this one.
I feel like me and Starkid we could work together, you know?
I do too.
I think I would be a great stage presence in their shows. I could play all the girls.
The sad part is they did do a lot of drag performance early on.
And they can still do it now if they want to.
Yeah. Andrew looks just like Neville Longbottom if you guys want to do another Harry Potter musical.
I'm in.
Oh, Lord.
Deck the halls on high, deck up Northville High School. Carol in the halls, rising with the tide. You'll orient like kings, see what winter brings for your Northville mistletoe. Spread that Christmas cheer, rock that Northville spirit. Dish that lump of coal, push it to the limit. Pumpkin spice for days, fill those cookie trays up, and pass the sprinkle them all. Deck the halls of Northville Heights, it's the season of rock and rollin'. And we'll beat South Heights cause they're naughty, not nice. And we'll dunk and spike their eggnog. Jingle, jangle, hey Kris Kringle got ice in his veins for a reason. And we'll beat South Heights when the mistletoe bites with our secret Santa swap. La 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 la.
Christopher Kringle, report to the principal's office immediately.
Oh no, Mr. Humbugger. I'm in big trouble.
You bet you are.
Jingle, jangle. They'll expel me for sure if they find 2 elves in my locker.
We're here to make sure you don't screw up Christmas, boss. That's right. Hey, Chris.
Noelle.
Were you just talking to your locker? Don't worry, boss. She can't see us. But if she finds out you're Santa, Father Winter's spell will be broken.
All right, let's move on to Deck the Halls.
Deck the Halls. This song has no plot relevance at all.
And none. And it's great.
But they're at like a theater hiding out. Okay, so all the stuff went down and now everyone in the mall is like evil
hiding from.
and hiding because they wanted Wigglies and something like that. And then they hide in the movie theater and they're watching this terrible show, Deck the Halls, with Kris Kringle as like
No. The movie is called Santa Claus is Coming to High School.
Yeah, and Kris Kringle is a high school student, and no one can find out that he's Santa or something like. It's
Yes, it's a
it
Santa
doesn't
Claus.
make any
but,
goddamn sense.
But it does. It's like a parody of like Disney films like Noelle or the Santa Claus about how ridiculous it is. And he's got like these 2 elves in his locker, Jingle and Jangle. Like, we can't help you figure out how to be a high schooler.
It's almost like I'd just like to see them make this entire show. Like this could be a show that they do, and it'd be awful.
It felt like a backdoor pilot.
Yeah, it's like a backdoor pilit. Do it, Starkid. Do it.
I loved it. I loved it so
it's
much.
terrible, but it's hilarious.
It's one of those rare because it does terrible like in a way that they didn't make the song terrible. Like they make the idea like the pitch of the song terrible, but they make the song itself quality.
Yeah.
One of those times where bad on purpose kind of works.
You thought that you could outsmart the very thing that runs the blood of your kind. Sick with greed and a lust for that, you will give up your will and your pride. You're hoping to be saved no matter what you have raised. Behold the depths of depravity and decay. It's happened on your watch, your time is running out before words collide. You went and opened the box, and then he came in a slick little package that drove you insane. Cause your thirst for stuff is never slaked. And now the end is nigh, the apocalypse here in a package that's not what it appears. You may ask why the doll, well that's all it takes. When you're made in America, in a valley of Silicon.
Okay, how about Made in America? I feel like this is the political commentary moment in the show, so I feel like we should mention it.
I guess. Joey Richter, friend of the show, former person who's been on the show, like good guy. We talked Urinetown.
Yes, and he is
he sings this number.
And he is the voice of Wiggly in a way, and Wiggly is this.
Yeah, he plays Uncle Wiley.
Yeah, and basically he says that this type of multi-dimensional horrific event could only happen in America because Wiggly was made in America. And it's obviously like, a play on the consumerist and selfish culture of Americans, which I guess is very relevant right now during this coronavirus crisis in a way. So he's basically saying that really this could only happen in America. I guess coronavirus has proved them wrong since this has also happened in Australia and other countries as well, but still.
But his point was, do you think that anyone outside of America would give a damn about a doll? No, they're too busy focused on their free healthcare and paid vacations to give a shit about a doll.
Yeah, and you know, I get what they're saying. It's a message, and I think a lot of people will agree.
Mm-hmm. I agree with it, and I think Joey Richter performs it very well, even though, and he even admits this himself, he isn't the most powerful singer among the groups, but he's probably the best comedian.
Yeah, which is it's a good character for him then, because it's somebody who doesn't sing that much, but it's more of a comedic character a lot of times.
But when he's on stage, he holds the attention of the audience.
And he sells it. He sells it.
He sells it. He sells it.
'Cause Friday is black for me. Only my ashes will see the sea. When Friday is black, there's no turning back. 'Cause Friday is black for me.
I want to talk about Black Friday, sung by Lex, when she's being strangled by a man that wanted all the Wigglies so he could bathe with it.
Bathe with them.
I think this is probably my favorite song on the show. It is one of the darker ones and one of the more sincere ones.
She's about to die, or she does die. It's one of the two. I forget which one.
She's about to die, but General McNamara gives her a gun through the black and white.
Through the black and white, and then she shoots this guy dead.
Yes. And it's great. It's great.
It's so weird. They have this whole system, like the black and white and all this stuff they created for this show. It's so bizarre, and it's unlike anything I've really seen in other shows we talk about, really. You just don't see that kind of, like, world building usually in a show.
In a musical, no. The closest we had recently is, like, Beetlejuice, and just because they had to recreate that world from scratch.
Yeah, but the thing with Beetlejuice is they really didn't do a great job of world building there, because you kind of...
The characters
you
are
kind
all
of
that
already
matter.
had it. Like, if you've seen the movie Beetlejuice, which you probably have, you know the world, so they don't have to really do a great job. Whereas this one, like, this is all brand new, and they had to world build from the bottom up, so...
And would you say they're successful?
In a way. I think the plot gets a bit convoluted right around this point. But it's successful enough.
Mm-hmm. I love this song, and it's like it has like some of the most poetic lyrics since Twisted. Like, there's something that's beautiful to be awake for my funeral, like shit like that. That's like, oh, that could work in an actual musical if like they wanted to.
This is an actual musical, Jess. Don't underplay it. Don't undersell it.
You're right. You're right.
Do you all see what I see? What I know, what I see? Do you all see the memories? Tomorrow reminds me. Tomorrow will come, tomorrow won't come. Tomorrow come today. Tomorrow will come, tomorrow won't come. Will tomorrow come today and turn the light off?
Finally, let's talk about What If Tomorrow Comes, which is that final number, which is real melancholy. It's like very Dr. Strangelove. Andrew, set up the context for this song.
Well, Wiggly made them nuke Russia.
that sentence.
Yeah, so Wiggly made them nuke Russia, and everyone's kind of unsure of what's going to happen now. So that's pretty much where this song is coming from. Like, what are they going to do if they survive this?
Or if they don't.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it seems like they don't. Like, this has a pretty bleak ending.
Yeah, just like the last one. So I guess Hatchetfield just doesn't have good luck.
It's a Michigan city, so yeah, most of us don't have good...
Michigan.
They said it in the Wikipedia page. Michigan's on lockdown right now, guys, so yeah, but it looks like the world's about to end here.
Michigan does not have good luck. That's what you get for being shaped like a freaking glove with a...
Two gloves. You got one glove and then the glove on top of it.
I've always thought it looked like a cactus with a dog jumping over it.
Yeah, I can see that too. But no, I really like What If Tomorrow Comes. It's really surprisingly dark. Like, even the guy that doesn't like musicals, that ending number in Invincible, I think it is.
Yeah.
Inevitable
yeah.
is that final number. And it's kind of bouncy and upbeat, whereas this one's like, yeah, we're gonna die probably, but what if we don't?
Yeah.
Happy times. We bombed Russia.
I'm just glad the president, fucked everything up. It's just...
He was not a progressive president, dude.
Yeah, he was a moderate Democrat.
He was. At least he could get through a sentence without stuttering and...
Yeah. There's still time. We don't have to have Joe Biden be the nominee.
We could just, vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
You can still vote for Bernie, guys. Everybody who's left.
Vote for Bernie, guys.
Everybody who's left, come on.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I hate to say it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right, guys. Andrew, what is your overall thoughts on Black Friday and your cheese rating?
Let's see. Overall thoughts on Black Friday. Well, it's pretty good. I would definitely check it out. It's not like, it's not amazing, but it's certainly very good for a YouTube musical. And you can check it out at home without having to pay any money.
Put that on your fucking poster. Why don't you say that? Pretty good for a YouTube musical.
It's actually very good for a YouTube musical. I'll correct it. I mean, it's better than anything Brent Black has ever made.
Are we just gonna throw shade at Brent at the last third of every single fucking... Brent is doing a musical on Star Trek, and it's great. It is probably just as good as this, like, right now, and I know it's only gonna get better. There.
Exactly. It's only gonna get worse from here. But...
Fuck, God damn it, Andrew.
My cheese rating...
We don't want to...
Okay, well, check this out.
We've got to talk to Brent on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, Brent, okay. Brent's not going to hear any of this before Wednesday.
Brent's not even going to listen this far into an episode.
Exactly. Everyone tell Brent what I said, that I love him and he's great. Okay. Let's see. Cheese rating. Oh man. I like this one. Let's see. I'm gonna give it Swiss cheese, because Swiss is full of portals or holes to other dimensions. That's all I got. I got nothing else. That's what I'm gonna give it that. Swiss cheese. I like Swiss cheese.
All right, so I really like the show. I think it is the best work Starkid has done in their entire repertoire, and if this is a sign for where they're going, I think they're only going to do great things from here on in. I think Jeff Blynn's score is so much better than the guy who didn't like musicals and is showing his progression as a songwriter, and I think overall the production value and the overall content is the best that they've ever done, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the cast recording. I enjoy everything about this. There are some very small faults I find with it myself, but overall those are just nitpicking. So my cheese rating is queso fresco, or as they call it, green cheese.
Why green?
Because, Wiggly is green.
Jess, I usually expect more from you. That was kind of a lame one.
You know what, Andrew? You should get used to being disappointed in me, because I'm just going to constantly disappoint you. My girlfriend learned to accept that years ago.
I can't wait to replace you with Brent.
Yes. And then at the end of the last third of every episode, you're going to be like, man, Jess was such an asshole. This show never worked before him. I'm glad he died of COVID-19. Rip in peace. All right, Andrew. Know who I hope doesn't die of COVID-19?
Anyone. Actually, I don't want anyone to die of it.
Yeah, nobody. But especially our wonderful patrons. Thank you guys for listening to our show. We love you so much. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher at Musicals with Cheese. Our Twitter is at Cheesy Musicals. Our Patreon is Musicals with Cheese. Our Instagram is Musicals with Cheese. Our YouTube page is Musicals with Cheese. Our email is musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card was created by the absolutely incredible Jolene Casco. Follow her on Instagram at Jolene Casco. And a thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for allowing us to be a part of their team. It really is an honor to be around so many wonderful people. You. That is, if we haven't been already booted off because we're horrible, horrible people.
Which at this we point.
Are. Which we are, but don't tell them. Don't tell them, guys. But no, thank you guys so much. Please stay safe. Follow the CDC guidelines. Stay the fuck inside. You wonderful people.
And that's if we actually are able to post this, because the world might be over by then.
What if tomorrow comes? Exactly. All right, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
Bye.
Bomb.